You know, one of the gardens we visited, there was 3 people sweeping like 10 stairs. Like there's so many people and there's so many jobs. It was, you know, you'd think that there'd be like a machine for certain jobs, but they have so much labor that they have.
So the people sweep
doing,
instead of having a sweeper.
Yeah, and just so many people.
It's almost like everybody works.
Yeah, everybody works.
How young do you think the youngest person is there that works?
Well, I have a funny story about that because I got a massage by a boy that was probably about 12. So.
Oh, okay.
So we can talk about that. I think they started me young over there.
Oh my goodness. So they go to work as young as 12, but they still go to school, right? Would they still go to school?
We saw when we were in the Hutong in Beijing, we saw the students getting out of school and
they're all in uniform, I would imagine.
Uniforms, yeah.
Yeah. So. So that's great. Anything else about the politics and the export and all your lovely gifts that you brought back and the pearls? Did you bring back pearls or?
Yeah, actually I did. I've got. I brought back some pearl necklaces. I won't take them out, but they put them in these nice little purses, and so of course I had to get some for all the family members.
Oh, so lots of gifts and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that was part of the whole thing of having everybody go over there. It was relatively inexpensive to sign up for this trip, I understand, but there was like hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, you went on one trip, and then 10 days later you went on another, and you know, and all of it was so much of a buying trip or something.
Sure.
So. Anyhow, we have to go to break right now, and we'll be right back with travel tip of the show. Welcome back to Let's Talk Travel, and we're talking about China today. But first, there is a travel tip of the show, and the travel tip is going to be on consolidated airfares. Most of the listening audience probably does not know about consolidated airfares, and there are special airfares set aside special for travel agents who buy from them if you want to go to Europe or Asia, just like they went on their trip, but they went on a tour. I'm just talking if you just want to fly over there, and travel agents are the only ones that are allowed to have access to these consolidated airfares, and they discount them down heavily, even better than the internet. So if you want to go cheaply on an airfare, call your local travel agent and ask them specifically about Paris or China or Hong Kong or wherever. They have them there discounted. They'll get the ticket from these people and get you on a great airfare. So be sure that you call your travel agent. So now we're back with Kristen and Dawn. And this segment is going to be on the everyday life of China and their thoughts of, you know, the daily chores that the Chinese people do. We're going to talk a little bit about the rush hour and maybe a little bit about family life. Who wants to break in here first here? How about you, Kristen?
I'll start. The everyday life there, it seems, not that this is bad, but very repetitive, very hardworking people. You could tell everywhere you went, no matter what job someone had, if they were sweeping or if they worked in a department store, they were very hardworking. If you go to McDonald's today and you see some teenager slacking off, you did not see that over there at all. People work very hard because it is, you know, harder to have a higher standard of living.
Do they
there.
have younger people, like under 16, working? Because I know here in the States, or at least in California, you know, there's laws for that. But did you see that over there? Or?
I didn't really. I know that they, the education over there is very good, and they go to school, for example, the younger children are elementary school, I think, till 6 at night sometimes. So
6, wow.
I didn't see any younger people working, but yeah.
What about?
They all looked younger to me.
Really? Oh, okay.
One of the things that I really noticed with a lot of the workers there, everybody was very polite. Very polite.
Did they speak English a lot, or did you have a language barrier?
No, I would have to say whenever I'd go into an establishment and I'd start to ask for something, usually one of the helpers would have to definitely find somebody that spoke English and bring them my way. So I think English, as a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting. The last guide that I had, I asked him if there'd be anything he'd like from America, and he said he wanted English books.
Wow.
So apparently English is a big thing for them.
So somebody could actually go over there and teach English as a second language or something. I actually had a client that did that.
Well-
not in China, but someplace else.
Well, since since I got back from my trip, I actually went into some China websites, and just the other day there was a website asking or advertising for people to go to China and teach English.
Oh.
I could actually.
Do you have to have a credential, I wonder? Or?
There was an online where you go to get credentialed, and then from there, once you're credentialed, you could probably go to China and teach English.
Well, what's your feelings about rush hour now? I'm kind of interested. We have rush hour here, with the traffic and the cars and things. How was it over there?
Probably 10 times worse than I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, just
Bicycles, right?
bicycles, and there's really no, nobody has like the right of way, it seems. I have a picture.
Do they have stoplights?
Yeah, they do, but people are going every which direction, and we had like 6 near collisions with our bus and other buses, and it's just crazy driving.
Oh.
A lot
Yeah.
of horns honking. I mean, it was just amazing. Some of these tour buses, I mean, the way they were just, moving right on in with about this much
Well,
room.
they're bigger than everybody else. That about crossing the street. Did how was you want to go into that a little bit?
It was something you had to keep an eye on. As a matter of fact, I got a little story when I was in Beijing. We had just gotten off our tour for the evening, and we were starting to walk up into the hotel entrance. And there was a pillar that I started to come in, and as I stepped out, one of the tour buses almost run me down. So I almost didn't make it back alive. But
It's also hard because there's when you're on the bus, the street vendors will try to even sell you things like through the window.
Through the window.
And when you get off the bus, they're all around you. You can't really see cars. There's so many people. You have to be very aware of your surroundings.
Oh my gosh.
speaking of the street vendors, I probably had the most fun with them.
Oh, okay.
That was
Tell us about
probably
that.
Well, it was interesting. Earlier in the show, we had talked about some of the government-run places that we went to. But the street vendors were interesting because they had all these different wares. As a matter of fact, that's where these scarves that actually came from, was from a street vendor. And so, no different for your audience that have been down in Mexico. It's very similar.
They try to push them on you, right? And you take them in your hand, and then you've bought them practically, right? So I know when I was in Hong Kong, we had the same thing. Street vendors, they'd run around with these little go-kart things or something on wheels that they'd walk around, and they'd try to put it in your hand, so you'd buy a T-shirt or socks or whatever. But they were totally illegal because they didn't have a license or something. The police were always coming around and shooing them away, and they'd yank it out of your hand and run away when they saw the policeman coming or something.
Yeah, one of my friends actually was looking at purses, and police came up, and she had a purse in her hand. She threw it up in the air and started running. She was terrified.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how was the family life? Did you get to visit families there or talk with any families or anything?
Yes, we did in Beijing, and the family life was actually a lot more modern than you would think from looking at the house from the outside.
Oh.
They had all the modern conveniences, and actually a lot more modern than sometimes you see here.
Oh my gosh, okay. Well, once again, we have to wrap up our show. You've been watching Let's Talk Travel, and I'd like to thank my guests, Kristen and Dawn, for taking time out of their busy schedule. And I hope you'll join us again because we'll have another show on China. And thank you for watching Let's Talk Travel. Happy and safe travel.